Hello, my goddesses. My name is Sherry Kumar of thegoddessprinciples.net, and today's topic is what is a goddess? Who is a goddess? And how do you define the word goddess? Before I get started, I wanted to call your attention to my blog and website, thegoddessprinciples.net/blog, if you want to read more about my musings. Also, I will post all my links below to my social media, so please connect with me and feel free to message me. I'd love to hear from you, and hopefully I can answer some of your questions in the future. So getting back to the goddesses and who we are, some women are just born natural goddesses. Those are women who've known from a young age who they are. They've been very self-assured. From a young age, they've known what they want to be or who they want to be. Those were the young girls who, at a very young age, had their own opinions, spoke their own mind, and when adults tried to tell them, no, this is how you should think, they were always the ones who said, no, I know what I think. And goddesses, a lot of us forgot how to be goddesses. I remember when I was a kid, I was that self-possessed, highly opinionated, stubborn girl who knew exactly who she was. And then, like most of us, life gets in the way, and I started to question my own knowledge and my own feelings. And like most kids, we start to believe what our parents tell us, what our teachers tell us, what television tells us, and we start to slowly adopt that more traditional role of a woman, start to question our own inner feelings, our own inner guidance system in order to fit in. So somewhere along the way, most of us forget at a certain point, and at a certain point after our education is finished, we wonder, okay, well, I knew I wanted to be a doctor, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, I was going to be an astronaut, but now I'm feeling this pressure, maybe I should be a wife and a mother. Nothing wrong with that if you knew all your life that that's what you were meant to do. A lot wrong with that when you're feeling pressure from your parents and your family to meet their needs, or from your spouse, or pressure from your friends to conform and walk down the aisle when in your heart you know you were meant to do something else. Kind of what happened to me. And then a lot of women go through a process of self-discovery, which is something that I usually mentor people through. And I find that a lot of us past a certain age, usually past 40, either are set off by some sort of a life event like divorce or a huge loss, or slowly discover through self-observation and solitude and just inquisitiveness that there is more to me, and they slowly start to get in touch with that inner person, that inner self. And that's how they slowly discover their path, who they really are as a person, and the goddess within. So to define the goddess is someone who is very self-possessed, self-assured. She takes pleasure in herself, knowing that she absolutely loves herself. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's actually hard to convince a lot of women to be that, to know that when they're focused outward, focused on their family, their children, their spouse, their loved ones, their friends, their world is external. And when your world is external, you're not noticing necessarily that inner goddess. A lot of goddesses throughout history have been highly criticized, been called immoral, been accused of being witches, have been burnt at the stake. And it's usually those women who are so powerful that they threaten the hell out of people, especially men, and especially other women. I know that goddesses today are those magnetic women who pretty much can draw anybody to them without even trying. They're not focused, they're not narcissistic, they're not focused on trying to gain attention at all. In fact, they're not trying, period. Instead, they have that natural magnetic personality And that comes from being focused inward, self-appreciation, knowing who you are as a person, falling in love with yourself, which is the most important aspect of becoming a goddess. You must be in love with yourself if you want other people to be in love with you. And the one that, tops my list of goddesses qualities is worshiping herself. That's pretty much the most important aspect of a goddess, is a woman who is worshipped by others, by men, by other women, by her employees, by her fans, whoever. But that comes from the fact that she first worships herself. She's the woman who puts herself first. She is the woman who knows who she is. She is the woman who knows how to take pleasure in her solitude, in her life, in herself, in her own company. And also she's that woman who knows how to draw that energy within herself, which causes everybody else to follow. Think about it. What is a god? Is God somebody who asks people for their attention? Is God somebody who asks for their approval? Is a god somebody who asks for humans to worship it? No. God never asks. It's not even necessary. Instead, God is first worshipped, and then you receive God's blessings. And a goddess is exactly that. We are gods. We are people who have discovered our godliness, our goddess-like qualities, and very, very powerful people. And there's a lot of men out there. This is not just a female thing. But I talk about the goddesses because these are the most powerful women in the world. They're the ones who can have anything they want. They're not selfish. They're not greedy. They're not bitches. They're just women who are self-assured and understand their worth and understand they really are meant to have everything they want, and they truly deserve it. But really, self-worship is that main quality that gets a woman to switch that piece off in her mind and to know, aha, wait a minute, as soon as I start worshiping myself, other people start to too. And I started this practice really for my own well-being or my own self-development years ago. And I noticed right away how well it works. Right away, my relationships changed from being confused, not really understanding what I'm doing wrong. I was never the girl who was trying to get attention from men. However, I didn't really understand where my power was. And through meditation, I'm a very good meditator. Through meditation, I discovered energy, that I could actually feel it, and that I feel that push and pull in relationships, in energy between two people, and decided to play with it. And I realized there's a lot more to relationship and than we've been taught or that we read in books, and that quality that makes people love us, adore us, worship us, want to be with us, has nothing to do with instructions on how to get a date or how to hunt a man. That main quality is right here. It's inside you. We all have it. We just have to figure out how to wake that up. And that's something that I mentor people about. But that is that magnet that once it's turned on, draws pretty much everything to you. So a goddess is not a woman who, like I said, she's not self-centered, she's not egotistical, she's not a narcissist, she's not those things that, how the media portrays her at all. A goddess is that woman who is so self-assured. She is so loving and kind towards herself that she naturally draws that energy from other people onto herself. And once you turn that energy inward and focused onto yourself, and it's a practice, it takes a lot of practice to do that, you'll notice right away that people will react to you very, very differently. I noticed that I can get whatever I want out of my boss. Not that I was trying to manipulate anything out of him, but his respect towards me changed right away as soon as I became self-assured and understood that I really do know what I'm talking about. that I really do understand my self-worth. I really am self-assured. Once you're self-assured, other people will be assured in you. My relationships with men turned like that. It was funny to observe how differently people started to treat me after I started to treat myself like I really deserve everything. And I also noticed that in relationships, men now worship me. Men now give me everything. I never have to ask for anything. I'm not the type of person who would ask for anything because I have everything and I love taking care of myself. But I noticed that men want to give me, they want to please me, they want to shower me, they want to focus on me. And the more I take pleasure in myself and my own company, the more they want to do that for me. So it's a technique. It's actually not even a technique. It's something that's, anybody can do it. But for me, the discovery process came through meditation. But it's something that I believe we all have. We just need to learn how to focus within. How to do that? It's very hard to do that, when you have a lifestyle or where you're being pulled in a lot of different directions. If you're married and have children, that's very difficult. Your entire day is full of satisfying other people's needs. If you are single and have some time, I highly recommend relishing your solitude. That doesn't mean being alone, which is not necessarily a good thing for a lot of people. Most people don't like to be alone. But if you can find beauty in your solitude, find your way to treat yourself amazingly well in your solitude, enjoy whatever there is to enjoy in your solitude, and practice that, and start to value your solitude. You'll see right away how other people want to become a part of your life, and that's how you become a magnet. Also, a goddess is probably the most feared woman in the world. I noticed that a lot of women who have that magnetic quality are feared for no logical reasons, but they're feared because they simply can't have anything they want. We walk into a room and you'll see women grab onto the arms of their husbands right away. Not because we plan to do anything to them, but because people can smell that energy, they can sense it, and they know right away how powerful the goddess is and how easily she can have anything, any man's attention, any woman's attention. We all pick up on that. And both men and women fear her. Men fear her because they know she doesn't need them and that she can easily walk away, and that she can have fun with them, toy with them. Nothing wrong with that. Women fear her because a lot of women feel insecure around the goddess. If they're not that, if they don't have that self-possession, they don't have that quality, they're immediately threatened. So, I'm no longer, I used to feel very uneasy with that because I naturally get a lot of attention from people, naturally get a lot of attention from men. And then I realized that if I take this more as an amusement with a sense of humor, I could have a lot of fun with it. And not telling you to go ahead and do that, to start pushing people's buttons, but it's just very, very amusing to see how the process has evolved me. And I went from, being divorced, not knowing who I am as a person, not knowing what I want, where I belong, how I'm going to date, and then now skyrocketing in the opposite direction. And I literally received emails, Facebook messages, phone calls from men all over my town, constantly wanting my attention. You get to a point where, you just have to ignore that. You just have to, it comes with the territory of being a goddess. But really the most valuable thing that's happened out of this process is that today my relationships are much, much healthier as a result. I find that I personally can say what I want. I'm much more comfortable with that. But also, I have so much power that I don't even have to communicate it. People just automatically want to satisfy all my needs. So, a very valuable lesson. If you want more on the subject, please contact me. You can go to my website, www.thegoddessprinciples.net, and fill out the contact form. So I'll receive an email from you, or simply post your comments below. I'd love to answer your questions. And check me out on Facebook. Just look up The Goddess Principles on Facebook. There's a public page and a private page on which you can pretty much post whatever you want, no judgment. And it's a very fun community of very independent-minded women. But until next time, hope to hear from you, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.